Hello, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching Daily Dive. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in Bandit Land, New York. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and Roku. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports channel on YouTube for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, we're going to get into me overreacting to the Toronto Rock. Are they ready to make a run? Very offensive, those Ottawa Black Bears. I'll explain. And of course, a Tuesday tradition, Fresh Fits. Without further ado, we want to let you know this show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersozsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website. The website includes every sport and even all your favorite artist concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12onsports.com. Let's get into me overreacting to the Toronto Rock, who are now 2-5 this NLL season. The Toronto Rock have the second worst goal differential in the National Lacrosse League at -13. They have scored the second least goals, least goals in the National Lacrosse League at 67 total goals. Their 9.6 goal per game average is second worst in the league. According to a tweet from Pat Gregoire, who is the country manager for Quebec, Canada, he said, well, his graphic shows the Toronto Rock are plus 1,200 or 12-1 odds to win the title. But yet, that's not the team that I've seen, and that's definitely not the team I've seen when healthy. Let's take you back 3 games ago. The Toronto Rock, who, to be fair, have been beaten and injured, but that's okay. They came into a game in Buffalo 0-4. They were 0-4. It was a bad look. It did not look good for the Toronto Rock. But in that game, Challen Rogers came back for the first time this season. Challen Rogers. Not Tom Schreiber, not Latrell Harris, not T.D. Erlin. Tom Schreiber came back in that game. Challen Rogers came back in that game. In that game, against those vaunted Buffalo Bandits, which the Rock can never get over, the Toronto Rock once again led the game in the fourth quarter. They led the game 11-9 in the fourth quarter. That's impressive. Again, no Tom Schreiber, no T.D. Erlin, no Latrell Harris, only Challen Rogers, and what was left of, not even Mark Matthews played in that game. So no one played besides Challen Rogers and a couple of other Josh Dowicks and Chris Bouchies of sorts. The Rock led that team by 2 goals in Banditland. Let's fast forward to the next game that Toronto Rock played. They're now 0-5. Everyone's counting them out. They host the Saskatchewan Rush. In that game, Tom Schreiber returns. The Rush are riding high. They are beating on pretty good teams, I'd say. And Tom Schreiber registers a hat trick with 4 assists. Challen Rogers has a goal and an assist. Chris Bouchies has 2 goals. Josh Dowlick has 2 goals. And the Rock beat the Rush to get their first win of the year. Okay, well, you know what? That's fine. They're not going to do that again. Well, then they played Calgary. In Calgary. And the Roughnecks had literally just beaten. Literally had just beaten the Georgia Swarm in their same building. What happened when The Rock came to town? Oh, another hat trick from Tom Schreiber. 14-9, not even close in favor of The Rock. You know, Toronto, this is a crazy stat I found prior to the show today. They are the only team in the National Lacrosse League with 0 players that have touched 30 points this year. Only team with no players over 30 points. And they played 7 games, which is what the majority of the league has played, is 7 games. So it's not 5 games like Buffalo. It's not 6 games like Calgary. It's 7 games. They don't have anybody over 30 points. Yet, Tom Schreiber has got 14 points in just 3 games. Challen Rogers has 10 points and 5 block shots, including the game against the Calgary Roughnecks. He did that 5 block shots thing. Josh Jowak has 27 points. Chris Bucci has 25 points. Folks, I'm telling you right now, moving forward, no one wants to see The Rock. And I know this segment is usually, me being silly. Is this what's going to cross my mind? So what is crossing my mind right now? The Toronto Rock upcoming are at Colorado versus the Seals versus the Bandits. I think they're winning 2 or 3. Pick the 2 you want. Pick the one they lose. Go do what you got to do. I believe the Toronto Rock are winning 2, if not all 3, of their next games. And those are 3 very. I am high on Colorado. Get it? I was high on the Seals preseason. I am super high on the Bandits. I think they win 2 of those games, if not all 3. The team that I believed in but were injured have come through the last 2 weeks. Why can't they do it again? You tell me. Well, we hope you're enjoying today's show. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the Ottawa Black Bears. It's very offensive what they're doing this year. I'll explain on the other side. You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water. Dust Pods is the future. And polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You know what's really cool? If you don't feel like watching me talk but still want to hear what the crap I'm saying, I know a lot of you claim you don't, but yet you're still here, as producer Joe says in our later commercial. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, instead of watching me talk, why not listen to this show by going to Spotify and searching Daily Dive, where you'll see an audio-only podcast version of this show. We appreciate the 19 followers so far on that platform. All right, live here on Tournament Sports on YouTube. Let's talk about it. How bad are the Ottawa Black Bears? Well, to put it quite frank, they're very offensive. And yes, that is the Black Bears logo crying. And I know what you're saying, Michael. The Black Bears are 4-3. They've had win. They've swept the Rock. They beat the Swarm in Georgia. They beat Vancouver. Split with Vancouver. Okay, and how bad have the Black Bears looked in their losses? Let's talk about it. 7 goals versus Buffalo. 5 against San Diego, a game where the San Diego Seals decided they were going to win a game scoring 6 goals because the Black Bears only muster 5. And then, I told you guys all last week, the Vancouver Warriors went 0 for 5 on the power play. How did the Black Bears look the next week? They scored 4 goals against that same Warriors team. Unacceptable. And how bad have the Black Bears offense been under offensive coach Jason Crosby this season? Well, the Black Bears with an offense led by Jeff Teets, who again we are told is the second coming of the Son himself. I am not here to knock on Jeff Teets today. This will be purely Black Bears offensive stats. But sometimes this has to matter. And we'll get to your comment by Michael Grace in just a second here. Ottawa Black Bears have 304 shots on goal in 7 games. That is tied for the second fewest. What makes that stat even more damning is the Roughnecks also have 304 shots on goal in 6 games. The Bears lead the NLL with 5 games and 286 shots on goal. In other words, the Black Bears, with an offense led by Jeff Teets, somehow, some way, they practically have the least amount of shots on goal. That doesn't seem right. And I'm going to use this moment, I'm going to give praise to Jacob Dunbar. Jacob Dunbar has come into that offense and looked like the Seals gave him away for nothing at this point. Looks like the Black Bears won that trade. So you tell me you have Jeff T, you add on Jacob Dunbar, and yet you can only muster 304 shots on goal, which is practically the worst in the NLL. I said earlier, least, like second least. I meant to say worst, second worst. Worst sounds a lot better, but that's just me being nitpicky here. Regardless of that, Jason Crosby and Dan Lattisaur and this coaching staff has to figure this out. Let's get to Michael Grace's comment on YouTube, where he said, give Eric Fennell and Jeff Teets some time to get in sync. I will admit, in the, 2 games they played together, I want to say, Jeff, 1 assist in the game against the Warriors the first game, but then as you mentioned, Michael Grace, the next game they played against the same Warriors team, 2 goals, 2 assists for Eric Fennell, which I like. And I'll say it right now, I would not mind more offensive firepower. I've said that for a couple of years on this show, that the Black Bears are just going to rely on Jeff Teat, give him at least guys who can actually play some offense for once. Like, no disrespect to Connor Kiernan, no disrespect to Kyle Matisse or even Riley O'Connor at this point. I need more. And I think, like I said, Jacob Dunbar's been a nice addition. I feel like Eric Fennell, who didn't do anything in Albany, is now at least had a one good game with the Black Bears. And if what Michael Grace says on YouTube is true, let's hope, well, he didn't say what's going to happen, but he says give him time to get in sync with Jeff T and Eric Fennell, which I love. I hope it works, man, because Black Bears, they started off so strong, and like so far this season, Black Bears were 1-0, got beat down by the Bandits, but everyone loses to the Bandits, right? 2-1, beat another beat-up Rock team, beat the Swarm, who we're finding out might be frauds, beat the Warriors, who went over 5 on the power play. I'm trying, man. But if there is some light at the end of this tunnel here, how about the next 3 games for the Black Bears? I could argue all 3 of them should favor the Black Bears. This week they're playing home against the Calgary Roughnecks. I like the Black Bears' chances if they're as advertised. At Albany, again, if Albany has a pulse left, I'm still going to favor the Black Bears. I don't know if I picked the Black Bears in that game in 2 weeks, but at Albany, yeah, I like the Black Bears. I think they have a punter's chance to win, sure. And then versus Halifax, LOL. So 2 of the next 3 games are against teams that preseason no one thought would be good, and then you have Albany, who's literally 14th in the standings right now. So there is some light at the end of this tunnel for the Black Bears. I just really hope we can wipe our tears and figure this out. Because it is good for the National Lacrosse League to have Jeff Teat, have any Jeff Teat team being good no matter where they play. It's also good for the National Lacrosse League. A team being helped by an NHL franchise is getting some success. In 4-3, based on the Riptide's success, or lack thereof, has actually been pretty good, including filling up the barn way more than they did on Long Island. So I hope the Black Bears can get better, but we'll see. It just blows my mind how he went from electric offense with Jeff Teats to a team that musters the least amount of shots on goal. That can't happen. I think Black Bears are too talented. If you're led by Jeff Teats, you have to have something. And I've been on record saying I'm not a big fan of just peppering and getting a bunch of shots off. But you can't have the least, that's for sure. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? I like the thought about Michael Grace. I don't know if Eric Fennell is the answer. Maybe Fennell piggybacking off of Dunbar and Teat, sure. I like it. But Jason Crosby and Dan Ladasor have to figure this out. Because someone's going to be on the hot seat, and it won't be Jeff Teats if this keeps on continuing to be an offense. It's like, we could do better, you know? All right. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up with Fresh Fits, a wonderful time here on Daily Dive, where I break down and have fun with the best player styles from this past weekend. And only, I believe, 4 teams participated. We're going to make it work, though, especially because the Rush were awesome. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up next.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME gets you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a baddest daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When today's awesome show ends and you are getting your tickets for the next National Lacrosse League game, buy your tickets for less at tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersOZ sports.com. You will not regret seeing things live knowing, this Coke tastes good. I'm kidding. Knowing, I got my tickets for a great price at tickets.12onsports.com. Enough with the infomercial. It's time to get back to your regular scheduled programming. It's time for Fresh Fits, the baddest of the daddies of the weekend. Oh my goodness. For those that are new to the show, this segment is basically me breaking down the best dressed players in the National Lacrosse League from the weekend. I'm very excited for this today. And there was only 4 teams that participated. So I want to let you know, The Rock, the Black Bears, the Roughnecks, and the Albany Firewolves did not participate. Shame on you. You must post on social media. You didn't. Shame on you. All right, enough of that. Here we go. Connor Fields, this might be the first time he's ever won Fresh Fits in the 2 years we've been doing this show. And Rochester doesn't really dress up crazy, but this actually won. I like the worn out white sneakers. I just like them. And Connor Fields is a good player. I don't know what to tell you. With a worn out sneakers look, I like it. Not bad. Next up, for the Colorado Mammoth, the winner of Fresh Fits is going to be Eli McLaughlin, a.k.a. the Liger. Roar. That's my Liger impression, by the way. This won because of his sneakers, his shoes as well. Those kind of high-top dress shoes, which I'll be honest, would probably give me a horrible blister on my ankles, but Liger made it work. And I'm not going to lie here, the Mammoth, this week, I can't give it to Will Malcolm every week, because the guy feels like sometimes wears the same suit and ties, sometimes. But Liger was just different by wearing the high-top dress shoes, whatever those things are called. Alrighty, Reed Bowering. Now, before you mention this, the Vancouver Warriors, notice the shirt he's wearing. They released this for their Native American Heritage Night, which that shirt is fire. I mean, regardless of the Native American stuff about it, it's still an amazing shirt. Like, okay, this is going to sound weird. I mean, of course, everyone is fine with the Native American Heritage Nights, but like some logos can be like not great. This one's awesome. This is one of the ones, kind of like with the Roughnecks uniforms, you couldn't miss. This one you couldn't miss, and they didn't. Fantastic uniform. But why did Reed Bowering make it for the Vancouver Warriors this week? Everyone else wore a suit jacket, and Reed Bowering says, nah, man, this thing's sexy, and so am I. I got big guns. I'm going to wear this thing with my khaki pants. Heck yeah, dude. Get a smaller phone, Reed Bowering. That's a very gigantic phone in his pocket. But yeah, no. All right, so before we start this next part of it, the Saskatchewan Rush last year had a retro nights, and this year they did it again. I really struggled with this one because you're going to see two contestants here that really made me think, dang, he could have won, and so could he. First one is Zach Mans. First of all, I like what are those Air Maxes, probably from like one of those old Air Maxes or Jordans or whatever. And then he's got the Steve Nash jersey on, and that is a retro Steve Nash jersey. On one of those hardwood classics thing. This guy knows what he's doing. So Zach Mans struggling on the court, but right now off the court, dude ain't missing a beat. That was unnecessary shade. So Zach Mans was very, 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 very close to winning it, and then came to ignore the name on the top. I swore to my family this was Mike Messenger. It is Holden Garland. My bad if the guy is white and has a beard. I couldn't see if he had hair. Holden Garland. Look, okay, why? Pick your poison. I feel like, this is sports with Zach Mans with the Steve Nash jersey. Holden Garland. Why did I choose ultimately Holden Garland? Because he did more with the retro. It wasn't just a hardwood. I went back and forth, and I know it means nothing to a lot of people. But when I'm determining who's going to get to make our bracket for the Fresh Fits, this needs to matter. Having the Coca-Cola jumper, or whatever that thing is called, and the orange tinted shades, and the hat that's tilted back, but kind of like sideways, however you say that term, he did more with what he had. So while I do like Zach Mans' Steve Nash jersey, and it is amazing, the Coca-Cola and the hat tilted backwards, again, it's the little things that I care about that no one else probably does. But that's why I am determining who gets the Fresh Fits for each team. And at the end of the year, you vote on the players who made it the most. As we know, Joe vs. Terrence had fun with that, so I guess joke's on you. Be sure to follow Daily Dive on social media at Daily Dive LAX. We are always live on 12 on Sports YouTube and, of course, Roku. Scrolling across the bottom, you will see our social medias individually, like Bigo, our social media manager, at LJ Lacrosse 49 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Michael Carvelis, that's Karvelis, for those of you on Spotify, if you care. And producer Joe, Baddest Production Father on Instagram, where you can see all his nice graphics, and Daddy_produces on Twitter, if you would like to see producer Joe sulk about the Bills and or repost random memes. But that was fun. Oh, cool. I just found out who Michael Grace was, and now I'm mad that I didn't recognize that before. So, shout out to the alley-oop, shout out to the layup there from one of our friends. Michael Grace is the third overall pick from the 2024 NLL draft. I should have known that. Thank you for watching the show. That's awesome. Let me not be a fanboy. Okay. Thanks for watching today's awesome show. Reminder that you are the bread, you are the butter, you are the gosh darn it, I wish I would have known who you were, to my Michael Grace. For everyone that comes on the show as a guest, those to come, those prior, and all of our traditionalists on Friday like Adam Levy and Pat Gregoire, thank you for sharing your audience and platform with us. I knew it! Ha! Wrong Michael Grace. I ruined this. No, I'm not disappointed. I'm actually kind of glad you weren't the player because that would have been worse. Okay, enough of that. Good Lord. Thank you, guests, for sharing your audience and platform with us, giving us validity and relevance. Wow, that is funny. For Bigo, who's always tapping up on social media, and for the best daddy in producing Instacarting history, producer Joe, I'm your host, Mike, who has no idea who Michael Grace is, saying you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. To Lunch Sports. This has been Daily Dive. I got a blast.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.